So I'll get started. I am Hillary Atkinson, and I'm the Chief Pro Bono and Social Impact Officer at Fenwick. And I work very closely with Faye Kelly, who you've all received emails from. Faye, who leads our Collaborating for Community program. And I just wanted to take a brief moment to say thank you so much to Jordan for allowing us to partner with Meta Bay Area and to all of you joining us today. Collaborating for community is a way that we offer our clients opportunities to partner with us on clinics and working with incredible legal services like Inland County Legal Services, who I'll thank in a minute. But it really is allows us to expand the work that we do in helping the community, and particularly when it comes to issues like ensuring that our communities have food security. It's really pivotal in allowing us to do this work. So we are really grateful for you taking time out of your schedule to work with us today. And of course, it goes without saying, Inland County Legal Services, if you haven't heard of them, you're going to in a minute, and they're just an amazing legal services organization. I cannot express enough how incredible they are for the communities they serve and for allowing us to do this work together with you today. So thank you all. Happy Monday. And I hope you have a great rest of your week. I hope you enjoy the clinic, and then I hope you have a great rest of your week.
Thank you so much, Hillary. And thank you, as you mentioned, to everyone for being here. We really appreciate it. My name is Matt Fukuzaki. I'm the pro bono director here at Inland Counties Legal Services. You'll hear us referred to as ICLS. It's a lot easier than Inland Counties Legal Services, and you'll hear a lot about our organization today. First things, I just wanted to check and see, is everyone seeing the shared screen that says Calfresh Enrollment Clinic Volunteer Training? Okay, great. If there are any tech issues, just let me know. It is Monday. And sometimes tech doesn't work as well, I feel like, on Monday. But welcome. We are excited for you all to be here. We really appreciate your time. Together, we are going to help folks get enrolled in Calfresh today. And also, we're going to provide a lot of legal information about the process. So in the event they have any challenges with their application, they'll be well informed to ensure that the process gets completed at this stage and at the appeal stage if needed. Here's our agenda for today. First, we're going to do a welcome, which we've done. Welcome, everyone. I'm going to talk a little bit about ICLS and go over clinic logistics. And then Delisha Brown, who is the practice group director of our public benefits team, is going to go over the Calfresh enrollment process, or a Calfresh overview application process. And we'll leave time for questions. That's the first hour or so. We are going to try to end at around 10:50, if not a few minutes before that. So there's transition time, because at 11, that's when the clinic starts. Clients have been instructed to join around 11 o'clock. They'll be put into a waiting room, so no worries about that. But then at that point, we'll put you into your breakout rooms, and then we'll introduce you to your clients at around then, and then you'll be ready to go. A few things I'd just like to say up front. We recognize, although there are probably some people here who have done this before, that you are by no means expected to be an expert. I am not an expert in Calfresh. I'm here for the training and can jump in if needed. We also have several people on our public benefits team who are joining today. So if you have questions, there's a way that you can get your questions answered through Zoom. So you will be very much supported throughout this whole process. The other thing I want to announce, which we're really excited about, we have a local organization here, V Corporation, and we're going to have Ty Thompson, one of the founders of V Corp, speak in a little bit, just a little bit about food insecurity in our region. They're a nonprofit that aims to address food insecurity and other issues in our region. So it's really exciting that they're going to be here to kind of give you a little more context of how you're impacting the work today, or how you're impacting the community today. All right, that's me and Delisha, so hi. You'll see more of me and then more of Delisha shortly. Before we get started, I do want to see by show of hands, you can either raise your hand on Zoom or do the virtual hand. How many people have been to our region? So Inland Counties Legal Services, we are Riverside and San Bernardino counties. We call ourselves it's often referred to as the Inland Empire or Inland Southern California. Yes, Julia, Ty, that makes sense because you run a nonprofit in our region. I hope that you've been here. Mary, great. Anyone else? Oh, there's a virtual hand. Great. Okay, cool. So it seems like some people are familiar. One thing that I love about meeting with folks, and this was me a bit ago, I did most of my legal practice before joining ICLS in LA, and I didn't even realize I actually am very connected to the region. Our region includes areas like Palm Springs, Riverside, Idlewild, Joshua Tree, San Bernardino, a lot of areas that folks have gone to are very connected with, whether they recognize it or not. Our organization, ICLS, was founded in 1958. We're 501c3. We're by far the largest legal aid nonprofit in the region. We have over 150 employees, and we worked with over 400 volunteers last year. Many of them are from Fenwick and West, and you will all be included in our 2025 numbers when those come out. So that's very exciting. On the right-hand side of the screen, you can see our different practice groups. One of the things that we share is that we pride ourselves in providing wraparound civil legal services for people of limited financial means. Obviously, by virtue of this program, everyone you meet with has limited financial means. We do a pre-screening to ensure that folks are very likely eligible for Calfresh. Of course, you're going to get into more detail with them, but Calfresh eligibility is within, it's generally for full eligibility within 200% of federal poverty line. These are people of limited financial means. You do not need to be experts in all of these areas, but what we ask of you is if you hear of something when you're meeting with your client, maybe they're experiencing a housing issue, a family law issue, a consumer issue, any of these other areas, if you hear of it, please let us know. In prior clinics that we've done, and we launched these Calfresh clinics just this year in partnership with Fenwick, we have helped people who've been experiencing people who are at the brink of being unhoused, connect them with resources to preserve housing. This is a population of people that often have more than one legal issue. And we're not going to put too much on you. It's embedded into the script that you'll use, but just like a list of our other areas. So you can go over that with your clients that you meet with today. And if you hear of something, I just encourage you to let us know. Please do not guarantee that we'll be able to help in any of these areas because all of our different areas have capacity and eligibility restrictions. But know that if they do have this, it's another legal issue. It's possible we can help. A few notable exceptions: we do not help with personal injury. We do not help with criminal matters. And a few others, but those come up fairly often. All right, clinic logistics and overview. And my time speaking is coming to an end, but we will get through this. Training is going to be about 50 minutes total, 50 minutes to an hour. We will leave a little bit of time for a break and also for us to get in the, get all the breakout rooms and everything situated. And then you'll have client meetings from about 11 to 12 p.m. today. Here are a few just kind of logistics and tips. First, the Fenwick Propel Room. This is for the Fenwick attorneys and Fenwick staff on. You should have gotten an email with a link to the Propel Room. We have interview forms there for you. And if your clients have send their, as part of the Calfresh application, clients can submit, they'll need to at some point, they can submit them today or later, but pay stubs and proof of identity. So we'll put those into your client's breakout or Propel folder. Notably also, that's where you're going to put your completed interview form. So you're not going to have to email it back to us. You just load it into the Propel folder. We'll check these periodically. You don't have to complete that today. A lot of people do because it's great. It includes all the information that you need and that we provide to the client. But we'll check in a few days. And if someone hasn't completed it, we will follow up with you. ICLS expert support, as mentioned, we have folks here that are experts in Calfresh and that they'll be here to provide support if needed. What we ask you to do, since there are going to be a lot of multiple appointments happening at the same time, there's an ask for help feature when you're in a Zoom breakout room. Click that and then we'll get a notification and we'll send one of the experts to your room. It helps make it more organized and everyone coming back. When you're done with your meeting, ask for help again, just to kind of let us know that you're winding up. we'll send someone to the room just to make sure everything is all set. After a meeting, you just complete the interview form, and then you add that interview form and the Calfresh application into the Propel folder. And that is the clinic for today. One thing that you'll note if you've looked at the interview form as you go through it, there is information about the appeals process. So you'll be delivering that information to your clients because, of course, we're applying. So you volunteers, you are all applying through the online form for Calfresh on behalf of your clients today. There's about a 30-day period in which that is required to get a decision must be made. If it is denied for whatever reason, our public benefits team will help with those appeals and assess that area. You are not on the hook for that. Just a few final tips about clinic. Be in a quiet, private space. Please introduce yourself and encourage your client to introduce themselves. It's a short meeting, but building rapport is always important. You are going to be discussing some sensitive pieces of information, and most notably, I do think, and I just want to underscore what I said before, these meetings are impactful, of course, for Calfresh. That's what everyone is here for. The clients are here for, but we do fairly often identify other legal issues for the clients, and you're most likely to be able to do that if you introduce yourself, make it a friendly environment for the clients that you're meeting with. Ask for help as needed. We do not expect you to know everything. If you do not know something, ask for help, or simply say that is outside the scope of this clinic. If it is, they're asking you questions outside the scope of this clinic. Give a conclusion and wrap up. It's embedded into the interview form, but you can make it your own. But it's always good than just the ending abruptly. And then let the clients know they can reach out to ICLS if they have any questions. When you're done, please again ask for help so we can join the Zoom for a quick debrief. And then again, add the completed interview form, a screenshot or a copy of the Calfresh application confirmation if you can, and then any other documents that the clients may have provided. All right, at this moment, I am going to introduce, well, first I'm going to see, does anyone have any questions about how the clinic will work? It's pretty straightforward, but if you do have questions, we'll have a bit of a break at the end and we can all work through that together. But to provide further context, we do want to talk about food insecurity in our region. And I'm going to hand it over to Ty if you want to give a little bit of information about your organization, food insecurity, and our partnership. I will say Ty's nonprofit organization has been one of our outreach partners through the launch of this clinic. So they've been helping us spread the word about our programs and get clients for this clinic and others. So anyway, off to you, Ty.
Thank you so much, Matt. Hi, everyone. My name is Ty Thompson. I'm the current CEO of V Corp. Sorry if you hear noises on my part. I'm also in the hospital on my vascular surgery rotation. V Corp has been involved in providing healthy food options for the local community for a few years now. We are heavily involved in transporting produce, predominantly oranges, it turns out, to like food pantries and health fairs where anywhere there's an opportunity to hand out fresh produce, we help transport that food around. We're also looking to make new connections with another organization called Giving 360. We're in the works of helping them transport food. They're another nonprofit involved in improving access. A lot of our motivation is that a lot of our members are medical students, and so we are working with a lot of patients who are managing chronic conditions like diabetes mellitus, hyperlipidemia, hypertension. And the fact of the matter is a ton of our patients do not have access to healthy food options. Some of them do have access to food that's available to those who are in need, but frequently, I can't believe it, frequently it's like pizza and soda, and those food options simply are not effective at managing these chronic conditions. And so we are super enthusiastic about getting involved in a Calfresh program like this. However we can. We have a new class of first-year medical students, so there should be a lot of enthusiasm and participation coming in this month. So we are very happy to be here, and thank you very much for having us.
Thanks so much, Ty. I should have mentioned Ty and a couple of his classmates as medical students also started a nonprofit, which made me question everything I was doing in law school because I did not both go to medical school or do anything near starting a nonprofit. But anyway, thank you so much, Ty. We love partnering with V Corp and you on this. I forgot that I was still presenting. Let's go back to this presentation. So Ty talked about food insecurity a bit. There are roughly 400,000 people that don't have access to food, like healthy food or enough food in our region. So that's one of the motivating factors for this clinic. Our region has over 4.6 million people. These are some statistics I usually give, but I didn't in the last slide. We are a large region, both by size geographically. We are roughly the size of South Carolina. By population, we're roughly the size of Oregon. We have 4.6 million, 4.7 million people here, which represents about 12% of California's population. But we only have about 3% of California's attorneys. That that amount, level of being under resourced is also reflective in healthcare and in a lot of critical services for our region. It's a long way of saying that we need in our region folks like you who may not live in our region. Maybe you're from our region, maybe you're connected, or maybe you responded to an ask to do pro bono work in our region. But for whatever reason you are here, we appreciate you. We simply cannot help the volume of people in our region with the resources that we have in legal aid. But even if every attorney in our region were helping folks, we still wouldn't be able to address the needs. So thank you all for being here virtually to bring more resources into our area. There's also transportation insecurity issues, which just compounds issues with food insecurity. People have a hard time getting food, but they also have a hard time getting to places that have food. That's why organizations like Ties that does food brings food to folks, healthy food to folks, and transports it throughout the region are critical. That is the end of my part. Just wanted to say thank you for your attention. Again, thank you also for being here. I'll be here throughout the clinic because I'm going to be trying to put you all into breakout rooms as efficiently as possible during the clinic portion. But I will take a pause there and see if anyone has any questions about either ICLS, about V Corp. Ty is still online, but I think has to go back to, I don't even know what vascular whatever rotation entails, but that sounds very important. So Ty will have to get back to that. Or any questions about the clinic structure. All right, I will take that to mean that I am incredibly, if not too thorough for a Monday morning. And I will hand it off to Delisha, who is going to get into the Calfresh overview and the substantive training for today.
Hi. Thank you, Matt. Hi, good morning, everyone. Thank you all for joining us. Really appreciate it. Like seeing the same faces come around. So, so I am going to give substantive training on I'll do it briefly because most of the questions, now that we've done the clinic a couple of times, has been around like actually doing the submission of the application. So I won't go into a deep dive of like the history of Calfresh and things like that like we did in the past. I'll just go over like what it is and get to the part where what you all will be doing, which would be submitting the application. So just a little tiny history of Calfresh. It is, the federal name for it is SNAP. But California likes to change the names of everything. So that's why we have Medi-Cal and Calfresh and CalWorks. So Calfresh is SNAP benefits, and it's just benefits that is eligible or issued to low-income individuals and families to help supplement their ability to purchase the food that they need for the month. So it's designed to be a supplemental program. It's not designed to cover all the food expenses they have for the month, but just enough to give them the basic ability or the base level ability to purchase some food for the month. It is restricted to food only. So they can't buy like toiletries or anything like that with it. But it's deposited on an electronic benefits transfer card. Most people just call it an EBT card, and they swipe it. It's now chipped, thank God, because there was a lot of fraud issues in the past. So it's now chipped, and so it looks and functions like a debit card, but of course they can only purchase food with it. And if an individual is experiencing homelessness, And they're in a qualified area, which all of our counties, San Bernardino is. If you're experiencing homelessness, they can be accepted at participating restaurants, so like Jack in the Box, you'll see at McDonald's, so that they can purchase hot food. So that's a good update for that. Next slide, please, Matt. Just a few things like vocabulary you'll see in the application. Household is anyone living in the home, whether they're applying for benefits for them or not. ABOT is now important as of the great big beautiful bill that our president issued. Before, it was something that we would talk about in passing because California was on an exemption from ABOT, able-bodied adults without dependents. So adults who do not have dependent children in their care. Like I said, we were on a waiver, so it wasn't that important. With the new big beautiful bill, HR 1, ABOT will be coming back in January of 2026. So it's something to be aware of when you're submitting the application, because now it has questions in the application as it relates to ABOT. And what this is the work requirements for Calfresh will come back, meaning you have to be in some type of participating work. They say event, but work requirements to receive Calfresh. Basically working 20 hours a week or 80 hours a month, be self-employed, participating in some type of work program, or be attending school. So those are the most common waivers that we see to not be required. A household. So for Calfresh, if a household is anyone living in the home, you have to report that. But as it relates to who you have to apply for, so who has to be part of the application, is anyone who purchases and prepares their food together. So whether you're related or not, if you purchase and prepare your food together, you are required to be on one Calfresh household. One nuance rule is if you have an individual under the age of 22, so 21 years of age or younger, and they live with mom or dad or their adopted parents, they cannot have their own separate case. They have to apply for Calfresh benefits with their parents. Okay. Sucks, but that's one of the little nuance rules. So if you have a 19-year-old today that is applying for benefits and they do live with mom, dad, both, or adoptive parents, legal parents, and they do have to apply with their parent. Next slide, Matt. So that's one idea of mandatory household members, which is minor for Calfresh, which is 21 years of age or younger, or spouses. If they are legally married and living in the same home, they cannot have separate cases. And there's parent for child responsibility, meaning they can't leave out one child, the one minor child, right? So they may have 4 children and they only want to apply for themselves, and 3 children cannot do it. You have to apply for all yourself and your minor children. When it comes to individuals with other citizenship statuses, if they have no status at all, they have to report that individual. They do have to report that individual's income. So say you have 2 parents, one has no qualifying legal status and the other one does, and then they have children together. They can't just leave that parent out that doesn't have legal citizenship status. They have to report them. They have to report their income. The good part is only a portion of their income will be contributed to the household. So that's that for, you'll see, I think, for Calfresh households. Next slide.
I have a question
Yes.
about that. So, the scenario that you were just explaining, was that the mixed status household where one parent has legal citizenship and the other parent doesn't? Do you only have to report the parent without legal status income if they have kids together, or do you report that regardless?
If they have children together, so how it works is if they have children together, they're a mandatory household member. If they don't,
Okay.
it's like mom who has kids, who has a boyfriend, and boyfriend doesn't have qualifying legal status, citizenship status, right?
Mhm.
But they don't share children. He's not required to be on the case unless they purchase and prepare their food together. So that's the next rule. Okay, they don't have children, he's not mandatory, but now do
Okay.
they purchase and prepare their food together? If so, now he becomes mandatory.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Next slide. ABOD. Here it says it's not in place now, but this was created prior to the big beautiful bill. So I'll go back and update it. A lot of changes are coming around the HR one. So it's kind of hard to know where everything will exactly land because a lot of states, including California, are trying to fight against this law. So we'll see how it lands. But for now, if they are an individual without minor children in their care, they will have to participate in work requirements to be eligible for Calfresh, basically. Next slide. Income. Just keep in mind, income is earned or unearned. So if they say, I collect cans, that's considered self-employment. Just let them know on average every month, how much do you earn? If they have no income, great, that's fine. It does have the option to put no income, but just make sure you're just asking the question and letting them know that income is income they earn or unearned income, such as the Social Security benefits or unemployment. Next slide. I just wanted to let you all know that there are income limits. I don't expect that you guys would know this, and I don't want you guys to determine eligibility. But just keep in mind, we want the gross income. So if they're employed, let them know that you want the gross income prior to any deductions from their pay. And that's why I have this slide. If you think it's high, don't worry about it. Submit the application. Let the county determine eligibility. We don't want you determining eligibility while you're submitting application, but just know that you need the gross income, not the net.
And one thing I'll add, just I've learned working with Delisha on this, is Calfresh isn't all or nothing. So even if someone's income is a little higher than what may be within the limits, they may still be awarded a partial Calfresh payment, and any amount. Well, it takes into account family size, household size, a lot of different factors, and any amount is helpful for folks. So just because they may be a little over, and these are pretty strict income requirements. This is very low income in our region. Is not as expensive as the Bay Area or LA County, but it is a pretty high cost of living area.
Yes, so just make sure you grab that gross income. Let the county sort out because they have allowable expenses, allowable deductions, right? So it may sound, the amount of income may sound high to you when you hear it, but with the household side and all their deductions and expenses, they may come out good at the bottom. Okay, just the key there is getting the gross income. And these limits are going to change here because we're coming up on October, and that's the Calfresh fiscal year for budget changes. So don't have to reference this, just get the gross amount and let the county determine eligibility. Next slide. So when you're on the website and submitting the application, you're going to see other options for benefits. If they have minor children in their care, like their daughter, son, they have legal guardianship of like their niece or nephew or cousin, and they want to apply for cash benefits, you can select the little button for CalWorks. Another option is Medi-Cal. They don't have insurance, but they want to apply for Medi-Cal, you can just click the little button. When you go to the application, and you'll see it later, it'll have little squares where you could select which benefits you would like to apply for. If they want to apply for the additional benefits, great. It doesn't change the application questions. You're good to go there if they want to apply for those benefits. And you could just ask them, hey, would you like to apply for Medi-Cal? It's health insurance for individuals through the county. Do you have minor children in your care and you want to apply for cash assistance? If they say yes, you just click the button. Next slide. Alrighty, so just so you know, the application process, because at the end, you'll kind of give them a summary. You all will be doing the submission of the application. You just let them know the next step is you'll have a phone interview. The county's going to call you, go over the questions you gave on the application, and then they'll request any verification from you. So if they have earned income or unearned income, they'll ask for the pay stubs or the Social Security Administration benefit award letter. And then if they've never had benefits before, they'll probably ask them for their California ID or driver's license just to verify their identity, or their birth certificate if needed. And then if we will follow up with them in 30 days to see how everything landed, and if we need to represent them on appeal because the county didn't do what they were supposed to do, then we'll take it from there. But that's like the next steps. Next slide. Just so you know, some people don't have answers on the top of their head. The great thing about the Calfresh and any county application is the minimum filing requirements. Legally, all they need to put is their name, address, signature, and date on the application. And if they didn't answer any other question, as long as they have these 4 things, the application is considered complete and the county must accept it and schedule an interview. So as you're going through the application, if they say, I don't know, fine, just go to the next question. You don't have to wait for them to look for things or kind of think about things. It's fine. As long as you have the name, address, signature, and date. If they don't know an answer, go say thank you, move on to the next question.
I will add also just logistically, in the form that you have, like the interview form that we sent out, the Word document, which is also in the Propel, there are sections there where we ask you to identify the areas, because although there are minimal file or requirements for the application to be complete and start the processing part, the applicant will want to then go back and fill in those areas. So the form kind of acts as like a homework guide. So if they're missing certain pieces of information or they need to add other things, you will include that in like the form, like the interview form. And it's pretty easy. You can just, there's like areas where it says just delete the things that they provided or add, like it kind of walks you through. But I wanted to just highlight that because although it is complete technically, and we're going to complete them and submit them today, there may be things that they want to supplement. And they also in the form you'll see, you should remind them to check their online profile, periodically, because they may get messages in there about things they need to add and interviews and all that. Sorry, Delisha, I just wanted to add that.
No, totally fine. Thank you. So some verifications, like I said, that will be potentially asked is their ID or license, birth certificate. They'll definitely have to provide social security numbers if they don't have them on, right? So maybe they have theirs, but they're applying for their children too, and they don't have their children's social security number on hand. It's fine. Just no need to report it. They could provide it when they do their interview. It'll ask about their housing expenses. If they don't know it, it's fine. Like I said, skip the questions that they don't know or don't have the answers to immediately. As long as we have the minimum filing requirements, they're good to go. Next slide. Most common, like I said, it's going to be ID, proof of income, financial aid award letter for any college students, which they can just get off their FAFSA, and household and family income. Next slide. All right, so now I'm going to show you what it looks like, the Calfresh online application. First thing you're going to do is go to benefitscal.com. And on the upper right-hand corner, you will see create an account. You'll ask them for their username and a password that they would like to use. They do need to have access to their email because it will send a verification code to them, so that you can create the account. And then once you get the verification code, you'll be able to log in and start the application process. Next slide.
Alicia, I have a question. There are some clients, I know this came up before, that already have an account. Maybe they had Calfresh years ago and then they lost it and now are reapplying with a new application. They would use their old account, is that right?
Yes, if they have access to that email address that they used, great. If they don't, just create a new account. It's
Okay.
fine.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Next slide. So this is what the website looks like. So when you type in www.benefitscal.com, in the upper right-hand corner, you'll see there that you create an account. And then you can go to the next slide.
Oh, the next slide is the MCLE verification code. So everyone attending Fenwick has applied and is providing MCLE credit for attorneys and I believe paralegals as well. How you would get your MCLE, you have to scan the QR code on the screen. I think, let me see, there we go. Faye has already also added the link to the CLE form that you can click on in the chat. It tells you all about the different states and certifications that are offered today. The code is SNAP 825. That's SNAP 825. Any questions about CLE? I know that is important. We are nearing January, February, so some people's compliance period is probably coming up. All right.
Next slide. We already went over create an account. Next slide, next slide. There we go. So once you're logged in, you will see an option in the top, like right at the top right of the main screen that says start a new application. You'll go ahead and click that. And then it kind of just takes you step by step through the application process, just asking you the questions. Just answer the questions. For questions you don't have answers to, just click next. It lets you skip it. It doesn't force you to put anything in. Other than the name, email address, address and signature at the end. Next slide. So you'll see this, once you click start a new application, you'll see this screen. It basically says, how are you feeling today submitting this application? Next slide. And you'll see there where it says, if they've ever had a case before, you'll see cases, applications that they sent. This is once you log in. Next slide. Here, you can let them know that, hey, once you log in, if you have any messages from the county, which is basically going to be like their appointment date and time, or any notices will be if their application is approved or denied. It'll be in the notices folder. And we recommend that they check their Benefits Cal account about 10 to 15 days after they submit their application, because their appointment should be scheduled by then. And then from then, continue to check the messages and notices tab on the status of their application. If they do not receive any correspondence within 30 days, because the county has 30 days from today to process this application, and that's either approve or deny it, they do not hear anything for 30 days, they should reach out to ICLS so that we can assist them, because basically the county didn't do what they were supposed to do, and we could potentially help at that point. Next slide.
I'll add that date is calculated on the interview form, so you'll just go over that with them. And then we do include an ICLS contact. That is one of the wonderful legal assistants on Delicia's team, so that they can reach out to if they haven't heard anything in 30 days, or if they have questions about the interview or anything else as they go, they can reach out to us. I did also have a question, Delicia. On a few slides back, it mentioned an expedited process. When would it be appropriate to request the expedited process? Like, do you think that'll apply to any of the clients today? And what questions should be asked about that?
It automatically asks expedited processing questions on every application. The counties are legally required to verify whether someone qualifies for expedited processing of their application at the outset, every individual. But the only way you're going to qualify is basically if you have income under the amount of $150 and that exceeds any of your expenses. So this is going to be probably someone who has no income. Maybe they've recently lost their job, not receiving unemployment insurance, but they have rent, right? Someone who's experiencing homelessness would be expedited service. A migrant seasonal farm worker will qualify for expedited services. But y'all do not have to worry about determining whether expedited services qualify. To automatically ask those questions. And if they qualify, then the county will process according to expedited services.
Thank you, Delicia.
You're welcome.
I actually had that question for a few trainings now, and I finally asked.
Next slide. These are just resources available that's out there, but my team, myself, and two other Calfresh, basically experts on my team, will be available during the process. We'll be in the main room in the Zoom, and we can jump in whenever you all need us to answer any questions that you have. So if you get stuck somewhere, please, you don't have to take time to kind of figure it out. We're here for that purpose, to jump in and answer any questions that you have through the process. Next slide.
And I'll just highlight one of the nice things about this clinic is Delicia and her team are here, not just to help support the clinic today, but after. There are a lot of organizations that does Calfresh enrollment. It's a huge need in our region, but what ICLS is able to do is if there are denials, we can assess them and help represent them in the appeals. We're one of few organizations in our region that has attorneys with expertise to do that. And I will note and Delicia can probably speak to this a lot more. There are a lot of erroneous denials by county workers. So I think that part of the interview form where you talk about that, we don't want to scare clients and saying like, oh, you're applying and it will just get, denied or whatever. But it is a reality. It could happen. So really encourage them to reach out to us if they have questions or if they receive some sort of denial or request for additional information or whatever that is.
Absolutely. Okay, now that we kind of went through it, the website, I will say, is they revamped it last year, so it's very user friendly. So you shouldn't have any issues, but we're here to help. But do you guys have any questions before we give you guys a little break before the clinic starts?
Hi, I have a question, and sorry if I misunderstood this. Are we doing both the online form and the form, like in the Word doc?
Yeah, the Word doc. So you'll be doing the online form with the application or with the client, and that is the Calfresh application. So by the end of your appointment, you will have completed the application and started the process of Calfresh enrollment. The Word document is a separate document that's kind of like an interview form that helps guide you through doing the application, creating a list, like kind of a homework list for what other pieces of information the client may need to add later on. And then it also helps guide you to guide the client through the Calfresh process. It gives information about the interview that they should expect, what happens in the event they get denied. It has a place where, why don't I just share it? Because that might be helpful. It's a great question though, Julia, because I think it is a little bit confusing. It kind of just walks you through. It even kind of has like, thank you for joining the Calfresh clinic. And then this is like a welcome.
Mhm.
It talks you through setting up the Calfresh account. So you can use this as kind of a script while you're going through the Calfresh account. It captures, you would write in their username and password, and then it reminds them to change the password. But basically, this is going to be the notes that we give to the client after your meeting. It talks about
Got
the
it.
requirements, missing information, and documentation. There's some required if it's only applicable to their situation. If they're a student, if they're married, etc., you would go through this with them. Gives you a summary to do kind of like a conclusion at the end. And then there's just more information about other programs and then other ICLS services. And then it already populates who they should reach out to at ICLS if they have questions.
Got it. Thanks, Matt.
Yeah, thank you. What we'd recommend, because you'll be in teams of two, is to have teams of two, is that you would have one person lead the interview and one person focus on the application itself, like recording it. And because Fenwick has access to the Propel, it might make sense for Fenwick to like do the documentation piece while the meta volunteer kind of leads the interview through the form. If that makes sense.
I had one
But-
more, sorry.
Yeah.
I just had one more logistical question on the form when we've like scribed down all our notes and stuff. Do you just want that uploaded back to the Propel room, or is that something we should be circulating to the client? I'm assuming Propel, yeah?
Propel. We'll take a look at it and circulate it. The person, or if you're both looking at the form, no, there are like comment bubbles in the form. Like those are just instructions to you, like erase them. And we'll make sure before we send it to the client that we've removed any of the instructional stuff. But yeah, you'll
Perfect.
just send it to the Propel room, and that's how we'll be able to in a couple days we just download basically the entire Propel room and then circulate it to the clients. Great question, Jacob. How many people here, I'm just curious, have assisted on a public benefits application, either through a legal clinic or for, you know, other purposes, for family, friends, or whatever? Oh, perfect, Megan. Well, I appreciate that. It's nice that we have someone here with experience. We can ask Megan questions as well. But it's also, I think, for me, one of the goals of our pro bono team, of course, is to educate other people about legal processes that a lot of folks go through. So after today, we hope that not only, of course, you're going to be helping our clients, but if for some reason this comes up in your everyday life, you have a little more information about how to help someone else going through this. Or you'll come back and join us for our next clinic. All right. Oh, there's a chat. Oh, that's CLE. All right. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to send you to your breakout room. So we're just organized. We have clients already coming into the waiting room. And we'll send you the breakout rooms. But before we send a client, we'll probably just pop in to let you know that you should be expecting them. But it'll be about 10 minutes or so because the clients have been instructed to join around 11. Let's see, I need to pop up this. All right, it's going to take just a second, and then you should see a pop-up asking you to join a room. And we'll just go one
Hey,
by one.
Matt, so
Yeah.
sorry to interrupt on your breakout rooms. I think there is one meta person that was not able to make it. I have not been able to get a hold of her. So can we put Mary in team 4 with Kaylee?
Yes.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. And thank you, Mary.
Of course.
All right, we will do that right now. I'm going to go one by one. Julia, you should see it pop up. I'm just going one by one. And nice to see you, Julia. 2 weeks in a row. All right. Jordan. 2. Josh. 2. Three. Nathan. There we go. Three, 4. Mary, thank you again for being our backup. It's a very important role, and we appreciate you. You're going to team 4. And then Jacob, okay. Be 1 second. Okay, great. They were all here. Thank you, Faye. Perfect, because we have all the
So
volunteers.
sorry about that.
Oh no, oh Ty,
No, no show. Did we stop recording?
yeah, we,
Okay.
oh no,
Um,